The following is brought to you by the People's National Party.
Make the trumpets play. Jamaican people want better. Economy coming like stormy weather. Ancestors are turning on them grave. We can tell me how we can do it together. When we look at the future of precipice, we see Jamaica needs the vision of the PNP. People said the bag of promises, them can't carry go shop. And the crime rate getting higher, wonder when it goes now come Rex. Jamaican people want better. Economy coming like stormy weather. Ancestors are turning on them grave. We can tell me how.
The proceeding was brought to you by the People's National Party.
The scale of dealing with anti-corruption issues. So there is a learning curve that we are going through. What is important is that the government supports the development of the institution so it can accelerate very quickly on that learning curve and provide the resources so that they can move very quickly on the learning curve, and that the government does not intervene or interfere. And that message goes to the opposition as well. Leave the anti-corruption and policing agencies to do their jobs. So why you come to me with that foolishness, you know? You elect a prime minister, and is a prime minister run the country. It is time we learn to hold our leaders accountable for their actions and stop making excuses for them. Stop making excuses. Otherwise, go elect the people who really run in the country. And I don't want the right start that stupid argument. Hold the people you elect accountable and stop making excuses for them.
Hello, welcome. Happy Thursday to everyone. Happy Thursday to those in television land. Happy Thursday to our silent supporters. Happy Thursday to everyone in the chat. Thank you so much as usual for tuning in. Please remember to thumbs up the live when you come in. Share us out if you can. And if you're new to the channel, please show us some support by subscribing. That will be greatly appreciated. A special shout out to all our channel members and to all of our moderators. Today's topic is Betrayal of Trust, with your host, Mystic Sensation, which is Baron and Anne-Marie, and we also have Melting Pot on the panel. Guys, we just want to say, with the approaching hurricane, please follow the instructions of the authorities. Make sure you have the necessary supplies in place. And if you're living in areas that are always prone to flood and you need to evacuate, please do so in a timely manner and do not risk your life. Material things can be replaced, but a life cannot be replaced. And remember, if you stay and it starts flooding and you need rescuing, you're also putting the rescuer life at risk as well. So please follow all the necessary instructions. Make sure you have your necessary supplies, and everyone, please make sure you try and keep safe. Let me just welcome those in the chat, and then I will hand over to Byron. Carla Ebanks, Don Mel, Beverly, Levina Miles, Lindell McCormack, Laverne, Azagod, Sonia Graham, Sonia Johnson, Yvette Bradford, Leighton Brown, Yvette, JP Ekron Sound System. Bless up and welcome, and an umbrella welcome to those who are going to be joining us shortly. Michelle McCoy, welcome, bless up yourself. Sharon Ricketts, bless up. Baron, without any delay. Althea, bless up.
All right, thank you for that, Oni. I want to say again, a big welcome to all of our ardent listeners, both locally and in the diaspora. Today, of course, we have a range of topics for you, quite interesting. Today, again, is going to be another exciting show, right? And of course, we'll be going through the various topics. We have contractors not being paid amid potential hurricane, right? Direction for new purposes, right? Talking about the IC and of course the Supreme Court with Paul Buchanan. We are going to talk about Mocha testimony against Ruel Reid. Serious times for the Jamaica Labour Party. Now, and of course, we are going to touch a little on geopolitics as well, right, where that is concerned. So we have some quite interesting topics that we will be going through. Now, without any further ado, let me just bring Melting Pot, right, to meet and greet his wonderful people as usual. Melting Pot, come on
Yes,
the
sir,
podium.
Byron. Thank you, Sir Byron. Yeah, greetings and blessing to everyone tuning in this afternoon to the Mystic Sensation Live. You know, we have a whole range of topic to discuss today. And so, you know, we have to, you know, just dissect as we go along and project what we know is the real answer to all the corruption where we see are going in Jamaica. You know, I want to big up everyone in the chat today, you know. Because, you know, with you in the space, it keep us, you know, active and vibrant to dissect the matters where we have at hand, you know. Blood and fire, comrade. We say love always. And as Lady Anne Marie said, you know, hurricane season is around and everything must be in order, you know. One such thing is protection of life. So just take heed to the message from Lady Anne Marie. But I also want to big up Sir Lord Byron, as usual, the host, our technical director, Lady Anne Marie. And so without any further ado, and back to the host.
All right. Thank you for that, Melting Pot. Now, of course, before we go into our first topic, I just want to provide just a little background as it relates to how important it is for good governance. And we are going to do some reflection back into Parliament on Tuesday and why it is significantly important for a government to be proactive and not reactive. And that was the basis of the conversation as it relates to MP, Member of Parliament, Chris Brown, right? And the issue that Matthew Samuda raised in Parliament. And this is what we are saying. My Jamaican people, Jamaica Labour Party is in power from 2016 until now. And as we speak, we are facing a tropical storm system that within the next couple of hours, it will be developing into a hurricane, and it is moving slowly. Simple means a lot of rains will be dumping, and we're going to have torrential downpour. And the issue that raised in Parliament was to the fact that the proactiveness of the government. And so then when Matthew Samuda was speaking on the issue as it relates to the pending system, it was appropriately as it relates to the questions being asked by Chris Brown, right? The question that attempted to ask by Chris Brown, significantly important. And Jamaican people, you are going to see as it relates to when I go through the program, you realize how important that question was, that potential question was, because I know that question has not been asked. I know that question has not been asked. But what Chris Brown was doing was to building up a context as it relates to the issues of proactiveness from the government, right? When we have hurricanes, right? And we have to be dealing with. Now, Jamaica is what we call an hurricane belt, seated in an hurricane belt zone. And you are going to tell me that the Jamaica Labour Party at the helm, right? Going 10 years at the helm and only acting reactively and not proactively. Come on, it's a mess. But before, let us give some features on the tropical system, Melissa, without any delay on it, let us share that and share it with our people. And we are giving the advice as well for our Jamaican people, particularly for those who live or reside in the low-lying areas, right, to take the necessary information, right, to aid yourself, right, to be safe. That's all I have to say. Now, menacing Melissa, looming weather system threatens island with dangerous floodwaters, hurricane force winds, right? Now, let us get into the detail of this. Principal Director of the Meteorological Service of Jamaica, Evan Thompson, says he's not ruling out the possibility of tropical storm Melissa making landfall in Jamaica. So that is a potential that it can make landfall in Jamaica. However, Thompson argued yesterday that even if the system, which is projected to become a major hurricane south of Jamaica later this week, does not make landfall, consistent broad bands of showers flowing from the center could result in flash flooding. This particular paragraph is what struck the conversation, right, as it relates to Parliament. How well are we prepared? And it goes to drain cleaning, right? Because this government can say all what they want to say, tell all the lies that they are telling, right? Andrew Holness has to speak to Jamaican people as it relates to the level of unpreparedness. Andrew Holness, there is no money, right, that being sent into the respective areas to respond to drain cleaning, which is very, very important. If our drains are not properly clean, what is going to happen, my people? A simple system doesn't have to even be a hurricane. Plus, this one appears that it is going to upgrade to a hurricane. We have seen inclement showers, not torrential downpour. And as a result of the blockage of of our drainage system, right? We have some flooding just surface just like that. Now we have a serious threat. And we have seen where Juliet Holness, the House Speaker, knowing very well where Chris Brown is going with this. But to the fact that he doesn't want Chris Brown to expose the government, shut down Chris Brown repeatedly. This is not service, Juliet Holness. This is not service. This is corruption. This is corruption. And taxpayers are paying their money. And the Jamaica Labour Party sitting there for 10 years. And each time, under the Jamaica Labour Party, we have seen huge flood, loss of lives, damaging of property, and the system goes over and over and over again. Now, so let me just move on. He said the system was likely to turn into a major hurricane south of Jamaica at the weekend, with a significant amount of rainfall of between 8 and 12 inches affecting sections of the country. Hence, we are talking about proper drainage system, which is very much important, right, in terms of dealing with the challenges ahead. Now, EcoWatch, a leading online environmental news company, says that just 6 inches of fast-moving floodwater can knock, right, adults off their feet. And I want you to listen, my Jamaican people. And 12 inches can sweep away cars. Goes back again to proper drainage system. All of this that we are reading here connected in terms of proper drain cleaning and make sure we have the necessary shelters and facilities to facilitate those who may be hampered by the, the downpour, right, of the system and so forth. And we need to make sure that we, put them into a safe haven. The Jamaica Labour Party government is totally unprepared. Jamaica, listen to me. totally unprepared. With consistent amount of rainfall over the country in recent times, Thompson said the soil is already saturated and hence flooding could occur quickly. So we are reading out this for people who live particularly in low-lying areas. Please, I'm asking my Jamaican brothers and sisters, don't take it for granted that, okay, time and time they talk about hurricane this and hurricane area, blah, blah, blah. Every single system that developed in the Caribbean, particularly in the region of Jamaica, citizens are to take the necessary precautions. It is important, whether or not the hurricane may reach landfall or whatever. Anytime we have a system developing, please listen to the respective authorities and take the necessary information serious. Now, the larger area of showers and thunderstorms is occurring from the right side of the center. So as the system moves over the waters to the south, the right side of the system would be over Jamaica. Listen keenly. Particularly, again, let me plead to people living in the low-lying areas. So heavy rainfall is expected. He sought to explain as he addressed a special press briefing held at Jamaica House in St. Andrew yesterday to outline preparation for the storms. Take that away. Take that away, honey. Now, let me tell you something, Jamaica Labour Party. The reality is reality. And you're going to have to wake up to reality and realize that PR system that you're so designed, right, to shoot out your propaganda is not going to work when it comes to reality. When people are living the reality, your propaganda will not work. Now, let me just show as it relates to the situation that we are going to even refer back to Parliament on Tuesday. Let us hear none other than our comrade leader, the integrity boss. And we're proud to say that. We're happy to say that because we know that is so. Let us listen to the integrity boss, Mark Golden, as he articulates, right, his interest in terms of fighting for Jamaican people.
Afternoon, the opposition felt it necessary to demonstrate our absolute disgust in the manner in which the proceedings of the House of Representatives are being conducted by the current Speaker. This arose out of a statement by Minister at the beginning of the proceedings, a statement which was delivered by Minister Matthew Samuda, and it was a statement to apprise the nation of the impending tropical storm Melissa and seeking to suggest the need for readiness on the part of the people of Jamaica and giving the people of Jamaica an update as to what the government intends to do to make the country ready for this storm and the aftermath of the storm. In response to the statement, attempts were made by opposition members to ask questions. However, on each occasion, the Speaker refused to hear the complete question that was sought to be posed by the member and purported to shut the member down, turning off the member's mic. Repeatedly, question after question was prevented from being asked. I myself had my microphone turned off when I was raising a submission to the Speaker as to why the manner in which she was conducting the proceedings. She shut us down and we felt compelled to respond by taking ourselves out. We didn't have any other recourse at the time. There's one other point we want to make, which is to do with the way in which the Speaker is operating concerning the scheduling of who can ask questions when. So there's this new microphone system which she controls as Speaker. And today she issued some kind of ruling as to how we are to conduct ourselves going forward. She wants us to raise our hands like children in a classroom when we want to ask questions. Okay. The microphone has a sequencing feature to it, so that people who want to ask a question press the button, it turns on a green light, and when you're recognized by the speaker, the light turns red and you can then, the mic is then open and you can speak. That is not the system that she wants to deploy. Instead, she wants us to raise our hands, and when we catch our eye, she can decide who should speak and what. If she catches our eye, she will decide who can speak and when. That is not in the standing orders. That is not in the rules of the House. We had objected to this speaker being appointed prior to her appointment this time round, because we were concerned about the way in which she had conducted the affairs of the House in the last Parliament. They went ahead with it nevertheless. And now we're seeing the effects of that appointment in their most ferocious and biased way today.
All right.
This afternoon, the opposition...
Take that away on it. Now, let me say something. Let me say something here, Jamaica. Right? As I said, right in my last live appearance, that Andrew Owen's system of dictatorship, right? Using his 49 to change Parliament standing orders. Now, let me say this to you, Andrew Owen and Juliet Owen. Parliament is not your bedroom. You just don't go to bed one night and Juliet Owen whisper in your ears and said, I want this to change and that to change. And then all of a sudden, your bedroom argument affect our Parliament. Let me talk to you plain. Let me talk to you plain. And this is the reason why, again, I'm going to repeat it, sir, that you, right, be the recipient of an investigation where IC is pursuing you as it relates to illicit enrichment and your corruption, your kleptocratic government. You being the Prime Minister and your wife being the Speaker of the House. So your wife in charge of the people's business and you being the Prime Minister. And where, let me say this to you, Andrew Wallace, if you don't know. If you are under investigation and you're under such surveillance, automatically speaking, your wife is under that same surveillance because you and your wife file together. So let me enlighten you, because Bangarang is going to go. Jamaica, let me talk to you. Let me talk to you. And remember, you have heard this on Mystic Sensation. We are going to witness a dilemma in Jamaica Labour Party where we want to see prosecution after prosecution after prosecution, beginning with Ruel Reid. It is going to be the crack of the surface of the corruption. And I'm telling you, remember Jamaica, I always defend the judiciary. All of my persons who are following Mystic Sensation can say from day one, Mystic Sensation has spoken that he defends the judiciary. We have seen where Andrew Owen has corrupted two columns of the criminal justice system, which is the prosecution and the investigation, particularly where the investigation is concerned, particularly as it relates to the Commissioner of Police and persons who are working, right, as political operative. Yeah, they don't like when we say it, people, but it is the truth, and they know it is the truth. But we are going to witness, as I say, that the judiciary is telling you, Andrew Owen, that enough is enough. And that is one of the reasons why. Because you guys know what is coming down in the pipeline. Juliet is acting the way how she's acting. But Juliet Owen can't save you. The FID chief, Dennis Chung, can't save you. Later on in the program, I'm going to tell you why, Andrew Owen, you cannot be saved. And let me say this to you, Andrew Owen. I am saying this to you. The case that Buchanan is pursuing against you, you can't win that. So rest assured, we are going to change the Jamaica Labour Party administration head. And you know what that is going to mean also? Let me explain it in detail. When we deliver the victory back to Paul Buchanan, we are going to turn to Glasspool Brown and we are going to ask Glasspool Brown to explain to us, as it relates to this victory that is going to become, right? Explain to us how fair and balanced the election was. So Glasspool Brown, you collect a big award, you know, and Jamaica witness you collecting that award to sell out democracy. But we are going to come back to you, sir. So prepare for us. We are here in the space. Prepare for us to answer that question. Because when Paul Buchanan win that case, it is going to be an indictment on you. And as you open, as that case deliver, remember, Mystic Sensation, he's going to put you out there. You who in abetting the status quo of criminality, we will be coming back to ask you that question. So prepare for us, Glasspool Brown. Prepare for us. You think Andrew Wellness is going to get away with it? No, he's not going to. And I'm going to give my respect to you, Wildman. That is a case that you, Wildman, is going to deliver. But in the same breath, you, Wildman, you know you can't deliver the Ruel Reid case. We know where it's at. We know where it's at. Right? Now, let us get into the juggling to show you the importance of the question that Comrade Chris Brown asked and how vital it was as it relates to why Juliet Owens should have allowed it. In the breath of good governance, right? She should allow it, and speaking about being proactive in terms of dealing with the system. Because what Chris Brown was saying, Chris Brown was saying, to the fact that Matthew Samuda raised and spoke about the tropical depression, that how are we going to deal with this, knowing to the fact that contract has been owed and they're not being paid from burial situation, those contractors have not been paid. And so then how are we going to prepare all the preparation where the Dryad one from Ministry of Dana Morris, right, and Darrell Vaz and Laird Morgan coming out, they are not prepared. They are not prepared. How are you going to be? Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question, Jamaica Labour Party. How are you going to be prepared, sir, when the contractors have not gotten their money from burial until now? And they decided that they're going to close down on you. They will not be cleaning any drains. So what that means if they are not cleaning the drain? And we are going to have those torrential downpour. What that means for Jamaica, a lot of place, and let me talk to you. You see all of them sort of what you call them with Anne-Marie Vaz in Portland, those road that you previously built, the carpets. You are going to see how the system deal with the carpets to show you the level of corruption in the people. That when you have not done things properly and you use a system to corrupt the system and collect money, you understand, and put in your pocket, this is what happens when a government is corrupted. And this system is going to expose them. Now let us get into, that's why I want to bring clarity to the situation as it relates to reference back in Parliament as to why Chris Brown was asking the question and how fundamental it was, right, for the question to be answered. And we are Juliet honest if she was dealing with a level of fairness, a level of balance, right, should have now absorbed the question and make efforts in terms of being prepared and act proactively, right? But again, I don't know how they are going to act proactively when time them rub up all of the money and them not pay the people.
But remember, doing Vaz in acts when money is
Start looking at the
allocated for the drain cleaning.
Yes.
And some later on, she shut him down, and later on, she said even his question was not relevant.
Can you imagine? Out of order. So the people, no, we only, no, well, let me tell you something. And you know what? It's unfair for me to say that the Jamaican people elect the government. Right? Let me say this. Yes, categorically speaking. And I am not going to say that this government was voted for. We could stop fool ourselves and stop from pretty it up. Right? You remember stop from pretty it up. Andrew Holness stole the election for the primary reason to stay out of prison. That is it. That is it. Right? This is no rocket science. Andrew Holness had done everything to steal the election, right? So I'm not going to blame my Jamaican brothers and sisters. And the reasons why I'm not going to blame my Jamaican brothers and sisters, let me give you the fundamental examples and for you to watch and see how far as it relates to even the Hanover region. JLP don't win one seat there. Westmoreland gone to PNP. Hanover gone to PNP. Look in Portland that they believe that they have gone to ISAT Buchanan. So I am not going to blame my Jamaican Labour Party. The election was stolen. And right there. The election. Jamaican Labour Party stole the election. Andrew Holness stole the election. And that is one of the reasons why Paul Buchanan case is so important. That when the outcome comes, you understand, we are going to now look on everything right across the board. Right across the board. Right? And so then we have to put back Glassport Brown back in the center of dealing with the situation. Because Glassport Brown denied the Jamaican people of democracy. You, Glassport Brown. Me vex this morning. Me upset this morning. Because Glassport Brown, when me see you go collect award.
So John asking him a question.
And from now, they have seen the failure. They have seen Barabbas. They have seen Judas, who sold out Jesus for 30 pieces of silver. But what did it take you to sell out the Jamaican people? An award? Order of distinction? Order of distinction for sell out the democracy and sell out the future generation. Glassport Brown, I am telling you, when the victory pronounced upon Paul Buchanan, anywhere you're there, Mystic Sensation, they put the heat right under your foot, sir. So prepare for us, boss.
John asking him a question.
Now, John Allen, Glassport Brown, how the voters, right, Inc. came out to the streets the day before the... Hey, look here, Joanne, I could talk to them, Joanne. I could talk to them. Melting pot, I know say soon coming, I know everyone coming in, but I just set the background because we're not coming and living fire, and the people are waiting for you in melting pot. Put up Joanne there. Put up Joanne and let me talk to my sister Joanne. Let me talk to my comrade sister Joanne. Joanne. Glassport Brown. Let me answer the question what Joanna asked you. Oh, that specific ink that only supposed to be right in the presence of the electoral office. How it get out there? You don't know nothing about it. You don't know nothing about it. This is how you sell out Jamaican. But we are going to deal with it. Look here. Let me tell you, say, the judiciary is the last line of defense, and the judiciary is standing up. Praise be to God, the judiciary is standing up. So let me just quickly go through and listen to this liar there. People who listen to this liar there. Who listen to Mr. 110 boss. Corruption. Who listen to the corruption here. 2B. The one who put up last video.
Okay.
Right? Look, listen to this corruption now. Me and them this morning.
Completed visiting areas around Kingston and St. Andrew. I am now in East Rural St. Andrew on Weaves Road, which is a vulnerable community because the river empties close to it. And usually what happens when there is a heavy downpour, sand from all the way up in the hills of Mavis Bank deposits itself right here. And in the past, we've had houses being covered. So we're here with the Member of Parliament, Mrs. Juliet Holness, looking at the issues. We've also visited the constituency of Mr. Paulwell, where we saw several areas where the gully walls have been challenged, and through the work of the National Works Agency and the ODPEM, we have been able to lay about 800 sandbags to protect the residents in those communities. We also visited the Sandy Gully, where we have started some work in removing silt from close to the bridge that spans Spanish Town Road. I've just completed visiting areas around Kingston and St. Andrew. I'm now in East Rural St. Andrew.
Take the witch away, the political witch. Let me ask them a question now. Let me ask Juliet Holness and Mr. Morgan a question. Juliet Holness and Morgan, is it the first time you have a tropical depression system coming to Jamaica? We have serious hurricanes coming to Jamaica. But let me ask you this question. How long have you guys been in power? How long, sir? Juliet Holness, how long? You have been in power as it relates to the Jamaica Labour Party administration from 2016. And you coming out now on PR? Huh? Why that thing that you're talking about, why that has not been fixed and fixed permanently? Eh? Here to here, we know that Jamaica located, right, as it relates to an hurricane belt. We located into that hurricane belt. And mighty God, you're at the helm from 2016. And your administration have no plans that can permanently fix the situation, sir. Eh? Here upon here, upon here, upon here, the same thing over and over and over and over. Jamaica don't move from out of the hurricane belt. Jamaica don't move from out of the hurricane belt. So you come out now, as it relates to Melissa, right? And the hurricane season not done yet, you know. So then, all right, after Melissa, what are you going to do? You going to come out again? These are the foolishness when we talk about Jamaica Labour Party. Right? You have been at the helm. As a matter of fact, Jamaica Labour Party over the history of the politics has been in the administration of power more than the People's National Party. So what are you going to say? Jamaica Labour Party is in power more often than the People's National Party. You go and point finger upon PNP? That's what they are going to do. Follow the history and track the amount of years that you service at the helm. Shame and disgrace. Big shame and disgrace. And you coming out just acting reactive, just reacting to the situation, reacting to the situation. Now let us move on. Now let us go to this. Here this big piece of dance. We sexy avoid him, you know. The man sexy in a malice. Listen to him. I am not going to be bullied, says Mackenzie. Listen to all of them sort of disrespect here. This is what they call political representation, Sir Mackenzie. Coming out telling lies. I can listen to you. Come on.
I listen to
Here.
a radio station yesterday and hear of a meeting
Yes.
in the St. Catherine Municipal Corporation where the councillors are raising concerns about lack of funding to fund or to pay for works that have been given out in their respective divisions and they can't get the allocations. And my disappointment out of that meeting was the response of the deputy mayor of Spanish Town, who in responding to the councillor's concern made a remark that they are not getting any money from the Ministry of Local Government. Well, I want to say this morning, it is a lie from the pit of hell. And I want to clear the air because I don't want anybody to give the impression that this administration is withholding funds from any municipal corporation. Let me say this. There are three elements of funding that the local authorities get from central government. The first one is the parochial revenue fund, which is 66.33% of the proceeds of motor vehicle license, etc. So everything that is motor vehicle wise, that is paid into the tax office, local government gets 66.33% of that to be shared amongst all the municipal corporation. It is not the Ministry of Local Government that determines the allocation. It is based on your road network that the calculation is done and the figure is sent to the ministry, and the ministry will advise the local authorities that your PRF allocation for the month is $5. You must submit your program. We can't hold on that money. And the only money that is owed to the municipal corporations from PRF is for August because we are not getting in the programs from the MCs requesting the funds for the month of August. And the mayor and the deputy mayor knows better than what he's saying. The other source of funding that they get is from trade license. Again, trade license is collected by TAJ and is remitted to the MCs. It don't come to the Ministry of Local Government. And the third funding that they get is property taxes. Property taxes covers the entire administration of local government. Property taxes pay for garbage collection. Property taxes pay the councillors' salary. Property taxes pay the workers of the municipal corporation. So the Ministry of Local Government...
Let me stop this nincompoop, and that is one of the reasons why CXC molest him. Let me talk to him now. Let me talk to you, Mr. Mackenzie. This is the reason why CXC molest you. You coming out on a public platform, right, to define the structure of a system without bringing the evidence to be a proof that money being allocated and paid to contractors, right? We need the evidence. The time you're coming out telling us how the system is supposed to work and how the system is working. That is not what the people ask. Where is the evidence? Where is the evidence that these contractors haven't gotten their money? The people did not say to you that we want to be told or want to be informed of how the system ought to work. You coming out defining how the system is supposed to work has nothing to bear with the evidence to show Jamaican people that yes, the contractors have gotten their money. So you're a liar. Mackenzie, you're a damn dirty liar. And I'm so disappointed that you believe that you can come with the old school trickery and continue to fool the Jamaican people. Your old school trickery coming out, defining the mechanism of the system, right, how it ought to be done. We already know that. We already know that. What you need to come out with, let me say this to you, Mackenzie, because I know that you guys are listening to me. Please, can you come out and show the evidence that ex-contractors being paid for work being done? And one of the reasons and one of the ways in terms of how we could know that is through the job portal, which your government block it. And this goes to the question as to why your government block it. To hide this corruption. So you are aiding and abetting criminality, sir. You coming out defining the system of payment. We don't ask you to define the system of payment. We ask you for proof that contractors, as what you claim, that these contractors gotten paid. Come out with the proof or the report and said, here it is. Here is the evidence. Can you find that? Can you come out with that? No, you can't. You can't, but you believe that. You're like a dunce brain. You're playing some old school politics. Right? Defining structural payment within a system. We don't want that. We want the evidence that these people being paid. Do you have that? So the next time when you come out, remember some mystic sensation is here. Come out with that, sir. And that we want to see. All right? Now, let us hear the truth within the matter. Let us hear the truth within the matter. And then we're going to bring in Melting Pot for just blaze it up. No, here it is. Here it is, Mr. Mackenzie. Here it is. Spanish Town Mayor says no drain cleaning funds disbursed to municipal corporation. Why you don't come out with a report?
And doing Vaz was asking the same thing when we're seeing.
Why? Yes. Why you don't come out with a report, Mackenzie? You run come out and define structure of payment, defining the system of the structure of payment. We don't want to hear that. Come out with the evidence. Damn old dirty liar. Right? Mayor of Spanish Town, Norman Scott, has stated that no money has been disbursed by the Ministry of Local Government and Community Development to the St. Catherine Municipal Corporation for drain cleaning. I lie, Mackenzie. I lie this. You run come out and define, right? How the structural payment supposed to be done. We're not asking about that. Give us the evidence. We're asking for evidence. Now, speaking during a meeting of the St. Catherine Disaster Preparedness Committee on Wednesday, where the Parish Emergency Operations Center was activated ahead of Tropical Storm Melissa, Scott, who is also the president of the People's National Party Caucus of Councillors, further stated that no disbursement had been received by other municipal corporations. I like the man to tell Pauno Mackenzie. I like the man to tell. Why you don't come out with the solid evidence and prove to the contrary of this, what the man is saying? As president of the PNP Caucus of Councillors, I can categorically, you hear what the man say? In liar Desmond. Liar Desmond. You hear what the man say? I can categorically state that no money has been forthcoming to municipal corporation, Scott declared. And this is one of the reasons why Juliet Owners shut down Mr. Brown. This is the reason why. Juliet Owens shut down Mr. Brown because she did not want the government to be exposed that several contractors have not been paid for work done as it relates to the previous storm Beryl. They have not been paid, sir. And to show you proof that the government is having problem in payment, not only these contractors, you have election days workers that not have been paid. The census workers have not been paid. Pensioners cannot get their money. Right? And we have seen where the Chinese contractors were there. You understand? Strike. So then, Mr. Mackenzie, are these things lie? The evidence that we show as it relates to Chinese contractors not being paid, right? Contractors from in burial time not being paid. The census workers not being paid, and that is one of the reasons why we don't have a recent statistics bearing the census. They have not been paid. And you run coming out now with a mouth full of pure garbage. Pure garbage. Damn old dunce. And we have you in our political system representing us. Eh? You don't even fit to be a councillor. You don't even fit to be a councillor. And the system fooling themselves having you to be a member of parliament is a disgrace. Desmond Mackenzie, you need to go, man, and continue to excrete in your pampas. That's all you're good for. He explained that based on checks with local authorities, here it is, island-wide, the last tranche of funding received by municipalities date back several months. You hear that, Mackenzie? All the municipalities that we have checked, the latest funding that they have gotten in some instances was August. And others as late as July is stated. I lie the man I tell. Then if I lie the man I tell, why not sue him? If I lie the man I tell, why not sue him, Mackenzie? Why not sue him? Because you don't know you can't do it. Because you don't know the man talk truth. You piece of dirty liar, you. Scott added that funds received for August went towards allocation to councillors for work already being done, leaving municipal corporations strapped for cash as they prepare for the possible impact of the approaching tropical storm. And so no deal with people. Well, when I say the people vote for no. That is why I want to teach the election. Because we now deal with political representation. Uno decide, so uno now sign the code of conduct because uno going to go thief. Hoodwink the people them. You understand? Hold up your parliament and sabotage the citizens of Jamaica. And that uno do Andrew Honest. Hold up our parliament. Our parliament is now hosting an illegitimate government. Let him afraid to target. Our parliament is hosting an illegitimate government and an illegitimate prime minister, an illegitimate house speaker. Let me take this away and bring in Melting Pot for blaze the fire. Melting Pot, blaze it upon them.
Yeah, my brother. I like how you set the background, you know. Yeah, foundation well laid. So you know me have to come build upon that right now.
All right.
And this is why September the 3rd should have been the day of change and reckoning in this current period of time in Jamaica history. Because if our Constitution Act of 1944 was given any respect, then we wouldn't have this debate right now. Because the general election would have been fair and the right result would have been achieved. And the people of Jamaica would have, at long last, have people who have their interests at heart and is willing and capable of representing the Jamaican population. So when we look at Tuesday, and we saw where, the House of Representatives that we know to be Parliament was thrown into chaos. It's a result of September the 3rd debacle that the Jamaica Labour Party administrate under Andrew Wallis stewardship. You understand? Stealing an election and knowing fully well that they are not capable of delivering anything for the Jamaican people going forward as a government because they does not practice good governance. They are a kleptocratic government who pride themselves on all type of illegal activities and corruption. And that don't have any place in our society, especially in 21st century. Now, the approach of the Speaker of the House was disgusting, appalling, and inappropriate as it related to she shutting the PMP representative from speaking on a particular subject matter as it related to drain cleaning. Now I want to ask this woman if she thinks that she owns Jamaica, our Parliament, a fair castle where she have up Beverly Hills, where she can tell people when them come in our house how to behave. Now, I know the People's National Party, under the guidance of Mark Jefferson Golding, is a well-mannered 28th representative we have in the House. People who will behave appropriately in accordance to the rules and regulation of Parliament. And when it comes up to subject matter such as drain cleaning, take into consideration, that we are now entering into our annual hurricane season, that should be given priority. But in the case of Juliet size 13 Holness, she did not want to hear a single word mentioned about drain cleaning and contractor not being paid, because they fully well know that the country don't have any money. They use up all right buying vote and buying all type of illicit things. You understand? So we know, say, yeah, she never want to hear that subject matter being mentioned. But Mr. Chris Brown was well in his right as the MP for Southern St. Mary, representing the people from that constituency. He brought the matter to bear because the matter is of grave concern. We all know what we saw recently, and that was just a little regular shower, nothing comparing to storm or hurricane. But we saw major flooding island-wide. You understand? So we know fully well that the Jamaica Labour Party is not a, active party in terms of how they project themselves. They are a reactive party. Yeah? They're not proactive, not at all. They react to things. But in this now, as it relates to drain cleaning, I don't think them can even react because the people who is in charge of cleaning the drain have not been paid from Beryl. So I don't know them going to go back to them or if them can go back to them. You understand? So them in a, hey, may I tell you, them in a sticky situation. Because this now will expose what they are going on with since them, been in government for 2 terms. They have run the system to a wreckage where a lot of people not being paid. People who are working in the society, people who should be contributing their PAYE from their wages. So even the tax administration is suffering because them can't collect tax from these people wages if they're not being paid. So it's a knock-on effect, it's a ripple effect. The Jamaica Labour Party, have Jamaica under right now. It's like a tsunami when it comes to people not being paid. So we are looking at a government that should have never been there to, direct traffic. Yeah, this government was not elected by the electorate. We all know that. And it bring back this guy, glass pole brown, AK pole green, yeah, to the forefront of discussion. Because Joe and Allen rightfully asked the question, you know, how did the ink get out there the day before voting? Now we know this man is the director for the EOJ. He's in charge of all these equipment, yeah, and vital equipment like the ink must be kept under strict and tight security.
Exactly.
You understand? Never in the history of Jamaica has ink been out there in unscrupulous hands to actually, you know, perpetrate the voting system, pay people and then put them on in there. So when them go back, which part them come from, people can say them did vote when them never vote. All these type of garbage, yeah. So we know it's a corrupted, kleptocratic government, yeah, we have in administration right now. And the sooner them leave, the better it is for Jamaica and Jamaicans. Because I hear a guy come out now, dead man Nancy Mackenzie, yeah, and a spew about a garbage and lie out time out, trying to show us how the system is set up to pay these people when that is not the question. That is not the question to be answered. The question that was to be answered was why the people them don't get paid. And I know the statement when Arman Scott, yeah, the mayor of St. Catherine put out is a recent statement. And something from 6 months ago, it is recent. And the man stated categorically that no municipal corporation has been given any money from the government. Not just the St. Catherine corporation, but the entire municipal corporation has not been given any money from the government. So I want him come rebuff that piece of shit. Exactly. Yeah. Them garbage they're not supposed to in a representative politics, you know, because them a gunman from long time. You understand? And people know about him. Him used to walk with him bone and a rap on him back in a West Kingston. Him nephew them involved in a gang affair in a Tivoli. That alone disqualified this piece of shit from representative politics anywhere else in the world. Them no use bad man in a politics. Nowhere in the world. But in a Jamaica we have them garbage like dead man Mackenzie. Going around for so much years. Yeah. Defeating the cause of democracy. Yeah. Using all various means of strategy and lies. Yeah, and come out and feel like people now are buying to him garbage. Nobody know why you're garbage dead man Mackenzie because it smell a pear rat. It smell a pear bush rat. How you know bush rat thinker than house rat? Dead man Mackenzie, if you leave the space, no wonder you're absent from parliament because you know them subject matter that will come up, you know. We don't even know if you did have the island. You understand? But that's how them say you could have hide somewhere in a bush because he's a bush rat. You understand? So when Matthew Tamuda come now and act on your behalf, yeah, him supposed to be able to can articulate what Mr. Chris Brown's question was.
Exactly.
And size 13 under no circumstance not supposed to have shut up the man like she rule parliament with iron fist. Yeah, we not a dictatorship government in our place, you know. We have a duly democratic elected government. And that's supposed to lend to freedom of speech as the word democracy listed. Freedom of speech, freedom of movement. You understand? You can't muzzle people. But we notice the Labour Party have this muzzling idea in their manifesto. Yeah? Where they muzzle people from talk. Yeah? And people become so timid and afraid of this corruption government where we have that some people rather not speak. But we are here. We are the people's voice of Jamaica. We are like the opposition on the other side of the Atlantic. And we will hold on accountable at all costs. Because Jamaica must be respected as an island and must be governed as a democratic society and not as a dictatorship country.
Well
So I'm
said.
saying going forward, yeah, I am calling on my people. Yeah, this is the time for you all to open your eye and realize Jamaica will not improve under this government. Your life will become stagnated like the drain. You understand? And so, just like how you see the drain them not clean and the place flood out, when your life stagnated, you're going to end up on the street as homeless people. Because if you work in a country where a garbage prime minister, a lying prime minister, a prime minister who pride himself on corruption, come out and state that the country is in the best shape with the economy since 1962. I know I am from that period of time. And then if I project myself further down the line, even in the 70s, Jamaica paradise. Jamaica now is not paradise anymore. Them take away the paradise and replace it with corruption. Take away everything from the people in the country and have it in them back pocket for them and them friends, them cronies. That's why them find themselves in a so much shit pit. This is why the current prime minister is under investigation for illicit enrichment and several more of his cabinet members because they have been just sitting down, yeah, basically carrying out one procedure only, and that is to rip off Jamaica wealth. When you have a prime minister, yeah, who does not work on behalf of the people, he work on behalf of himself, yeah. I don't know of any prime minister who involved in a so much Ponzi scheme like Andrew. None whatsoever.
One.
You understand? Every Ponzi scheme in front it because I'm the CEO for every Ponzi scheme. I formulate them. You understand? The only one that took place where I'm not involved in a Eagle Merchant Bank. Yeah, with Paul Chen Young and associate. But after I learned the system from that event, he manifested himself. You understand? Now we see him have one newly one where he created, but this time he turned to people from Asia continent. A shit pit when he do Shanti Shavadia. Yeah, we come up with a fictitious Amber Group connection company. Lie, people.
Lies.
Lie. Categorically. Lie. Them have that place, there's a laundry company, not a technology company. It laundry money for the Jamaica Labour Party, and none so more than Andrew Wallace, because the evidence is there. It is traceable. You understand? So we now have to make sure we hold this government accountable, because we tell Andrew Wallace that the third term shall be his worst term. And I like the stance that I see is, taking place now in Jamaica, where people of civil society now start to work and work assiduously for the people of the country. Because, say, Ruel Reid, Ruel Reid, Ruel Reid. Yeah, because we have to change him now, upgrade him to that. You see him think I'm moving in the right direction now. Yeah. I'm certain when I get the medicine well long overdue. And Andrew one will come on the back of his. And then now we shall break the chain of corruption. You understand? Because when we get rid of the master link like Andrew, we are going to dismantle the whole chain. And that have to be the be all and end all. Yeah, it can't be nothing else. As Jamaica will still be in the same predicament. Shit pit. Worse than 80. Who can ever imagine Jamaica finding itself on par and being, categorized as 80 twin? Never in my wildest dream would I ever envisage that something of this magnitude would have happened to Jamaica. But yes, my people, it has befallen upon Jamaica because of Andrew Wallace, this criminal prime minister that has been in charge of the country for over a decade. that has plunged the country not only into recession but in depression, and cannot come and speak appropriately on the subject matter as it relates to the state of affairs in Jamaica. Everywhere I'm going, lie and him fabricate. And all the little shitty member them when him have around him do the same thing. Like Bug Life and all them garbage there. Queenie, them shit pit there. The whole of them. Be a lie them tell. But time catching up on them. Time is the master of all corruption. And where Andrew Wallace thought that he was, he's not there anymore. Yeah. The people of Jamaica has rejected him resoundingly in the last general election. And only the aid of people like Gladstone Brown, yeah, A.K. Tadpole Green, Dushanti Shavadia, that piece of shit from India, and some people that farms civil society, like members of Andrew Wallace JCF, because Andrew have a JCF himself. People make me tell you now, Andrew have a core a JCF member for himself. Yeah. And especially up at the top echelon where you have a nasty commissioner like Bugutu. You have a guy like Richard Stewart who is in charge of crime, who we know for a fact is running a death squad, yeah, alongside our Jamaica Constabulary Force. Yeah. And some other people that was employed to work within the electoral system. They sold democracy down the drain. They carry out a coup on our democracy. And what they don't realize is that that same event that they participate in will only damage the fabric of their life, because they are not as wealthy as Andrew, you know. Andrew couldn't get me to tea for him or tell a lie for him. Because I have to look at my situation and analyze my situation. I can't rub shoulder with Andrew Wallace, you know. Because none of these people who are supporting Andrew Wallace can never enter into his mansion. They are not welcome. You understand? But yet still, they are trying their endeavor best to support a criminal prime minister. A prime minister who the entire world, yeah, has cast doubt over his leadership. Even Ibrahim Traore said in an interview that Andrew Wallace traded the people democracy for wealth. Yeah, because you know your dignity, you know, it encompasses your democracy. Him trade that for him wealth. Andrew is a piece of shit. And Jamaica must recognize and realize that no, this guy is not a leader that have any substance. He's weak and pathetic. Yeah. And he's not surplus to requirement under no circumstance. Because you can have a prime minister who can move people from around him when corruption down upon them. Because him corrupted more than them. Look at the deputy prime minister, Dr. Crab, a.k.a. Sleepy Joe. Look at him. He cannot travel. Him itch up in a Wikipedia. And when you look closer to other members around him, and we're talking about member of seniority in the Jamaica Labour Party. Yeah. Like Pumvas. So much controversy of related circumstance from 1983 up to present as it relates to $1.4 billion to some old garbage bus. Yeah. As it relates to him going to Mexico and collecting a briefcase of 140,000 US. What can go so, my people? What can go so? We have to take a stand. We have to draw a line under these people and identify them for who they are. They are corrupted piece of shit. And I yield back the floor to my brother.
All right. Blessing as it relates to sledging. You know, so I'm coming from a melting pot. But we are going to dig deeper, right, into some serious fire. Right now, Jamaica, we are about to see a fundamental change, right, as it relates to how our judiciary system is going to apply justice. Now, we have seen that social media put on the pressure on the Governor General. And where the Governor General have to heal and become submissive to the pressure. When we say that the Governor General has no authority to want to block recommendation for appointment. You have none. Absolutely none. And so then what you have done, you only now embarrass yourself. That as a result of us calling you out and telling you that you don't have such authority, sir. You have to go back and heel and bow. How disgraceful that is. You are a disgrace to democracy. Let us get into it. 3 IC directors to be sworn in. We don't play around here. We don't play around here. When we put on the pressure, yes, because we know our fundamental rights and we are fighting for our Jamaican people. 3 IC directors to be sworn in this morning, right? October 22. Yes, we have to beat it down. Governor General Sir Patrick Allen is expected to swear in 3 directors of the Integrity Commission, IC, this morning. And yes, we're glad how you respond and doing it fast. You understand? Yeah. Don't be Andrew Holness extended arm when Andrew Holness whisper in your ears. Let justice flow. Gleaner sources have confirmed that Craig Beresford, yes, the former Director of Information and Complaint, is to be sworn in as Executive Director. Yes, we welcome that. While Ranif Lawrence, who acted in the position of Director of Corruption Prosecution, is to take up the post full-time. Welcome aboard, Mr. Ranif. We are happy to have you serve as it relates to standing up for justice. Joet Jones Hall, the manager for declarations at the IC, is to take over the reins as Director of Information and Complaint. We welcome you as well, madam. The ceremony is to take place at King's House. Do it fast. Don't itch, because if you itch, you will hear me a melting pot. It follows a week-long standoff between Sir Patrick and Chairman of the IC, retired Supreme Court Judge Carol Lawrence Beswick, over the recommendations for the appointment, and which, Governor General, you have no place. Your duties, merely tied to ceremonial activities, stick to same and don't intrude. Legislatively, you're out of order and you're bright. Recognize your function and stay within your ambit. Stay an alien, out of order and bright. Editor this month, the Gleaner reported that the IC, Jamaica leading anti-corruption agency, had been operating without 3 of its top leaders for weeks, a development that threatened to significantly undermine its ability to prevent, detect, and prosecute corruption. You don't want you to detect that Andrew Holness and them kleptocratic government are criminals, and you don't want we to prevent the criminality. You don't want me to prevent the criminality, and you don't want us to prosecute the corruption of Andrew Holness and its kleptocratic organization. You can't stop that, GG. You can't stop it. And by the way, said hello to your friend Andrew Holness. Obviously, you and him have account in Cash Plus and Olent. Birds of a feather apparently flock together. We are just reminding you. Now, at that time, the commissioner confirmed to the Sunday Gleaner that it had submitted recommendations to Allen for appointment to the DCP and executive director post. Why you hold it up? This is not your responsibility, sir. You're out of your league. You're out of and you're bright. A reliable source who spoke on conditions of anonymity had indicated that the nomination for an executive director was submitted in July, while the recommendations for the new DCP was made earlier. Under the Integrity Commission Act, the Commission is allowed to make temporary acting appointments for up to 3 months. According, an acting DCP was appointed on June 3rd, 2025, and an acting executive director on May 18, 2025. However, both terms had past expiry and the law's bars extension. The previous DCP contract expired on March 31st, 2025. The executive directors on March 17. So all of what I am reading, the bottom line, take it away, honey. The bottom line that I am saying to you, Gigi, in the future, please stay out of legislative affairs and our political affairs and stick to your ceremonial duty, sir. Right? Stick to your ceremonial duty. You're out of your league. And you're showing your hand to be a political operative. So please, learn your lesson going forward. Because if you don't learn your lesson, you have melting pot and mystic sensation to deal with. That's all we have to say. All right? Okay. Now, I'm glad that you recognize that you're wrong and you put step to correct the wrong that you have done. We accept that. Okay? But the next time, sir, stay in your league. Okay. Now let us get into the sweet part of the meat. Right? And add some vegetable on the situation. Supreme Court to hear Buchanan application. Let us lift up that. Now, Jamaica, let me talk to you where this is. La la la. I am feeling so wonderful and sweet. Now, let me tell you something, Jamaica. You see, this situation with Paul Buchanan and Andrew Holness, it is going to shake up the Jamaica Labour Party for what it truly is. It is going to expose the criminality of the Jamaica Labour Party. Jamaica, this is not ordinary. This is not ordinary. And let me say this. So you can say that, of course, Mystic Sensation said it. And Melting Pot said it. We're going to have a re-election in this. So let me talk to the people in Buchanan constituency. Gear up. And let me say to Andrew Holness, the criminality that you have done, where this is concerned, and I ask him, I tell you, say, it can't happen again. And then now what happened? Let me tell you why it now go happen. Melting Pot and myself have been tracking Dushyant Savadia. And we make sure that we're putting on the padlock on him. This is going to be the by-election, sir. That the People's National Party will be focused. All security measures will be extremely tight. So let me speak categorically clear, and I want particularly Buchanan's constituency to listen to Mystic Sensation today. Please gear up yourself. A by-election is coming soon. please, my people, gear up yourself. It is coming. All right. Bangarang, you know. Kingston, Jamaica, the Supreme Court has scheduled Tuesday, November 18 to hear the application for leave for judicial review of a decision made by the constituted authority in the St. Andrew West Central election dispute. The application was filed by Paul Buchanan, the People's National Party aspirant who contested the September 3 general election and subsequently sought to have the result declared void. The constituted authority had rejected Buchanan's request, prompting the legal challenge. It's alleged that during a case management hearing on Tuesday, because them cook up this, the court described the matter as serious and unprecedented. You hear that, people? Let me read it over. It is alleged that during a case management hearing on Tuesday, the court that Buchanan turned to now, described the matter. Let us read that and bite into the meeting. Describe the matter as serious and unprecedented.
Never before.
Never happened before. Given that it directly involves the actions of the constituted authority. The presiding judge ordered that legal documents be served on Bro God.
Yes, man.
We can't call him Prime Minister Andrew Honest.
Let's call him Andrew then.
Because he's a legitimate Prime Minister. So may I call him Andrew Honest. The presiding judge ordered that legal documents be served on Andrew Honest. You like that, melting pot?
Well, of course.
Okay, me I move. The Jamaica Labour Party candidate for the constituency and on the Attorney General who will represent the constituted authority in the proceedings. Now, take that away. Because I am telling you that this is a case that, of course, you wild man is going to take it home. Now, melting pot, before me get in a more serious matters, me know you want to juggle upon this. So come in, my brother.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. And I mean, as we always say to Andrew, you know, the third term shall be your worst term. Well, it is just now starting to bubble up. You understand? Because here it is now, the Supreme Court find time and making time to hear Paul Buchanan application. Not like the constituted authority who push back on it and said the man not have substantial evidence. Constituted authority, eat your word. Supreme Court stand predominant.
Yes.
And the Supreme Court is acting in accordance with the 1944 People's Act of Jamaica, which tells everything that should not happen on an election day. Yeah? So maybe the constituted authority don't know about the 1944 People's Act. Yeah, but the Supreme Court know about it. So the Supreme Court say, yeah, man, we have so much here now to discuss, man. Yeah, man. Whoa. Remember tell you look fat? You understand? Like a mullet fish. And that the Supreme Court say, you know, but constituted authority see it as a little ticky thing.
Yes.
Constituted authority on the go, man. Yeah, when I work on behalf of Andrew Honest, so the green like morass, you come in like shit water. We're circling a road downtown. We don't have no morals, we don't have no balls. We don't make Andrew pushing around like we have some bagaboo. We don't have respect.
Melting pot that I give Juliet Holness headache in a parliament, you know.
Yes.
That's why she behave like that.
Yeah, because she know the criteria. Yeah, we surround everything. You understand? I know so she not have no way out. Because remember, you know, 13 and 28 are 41, you know. I hear the one come, that means she and Andrew are one. You understand? Just add them two number. You get them to be 1, 13 and 28 equal 41. Them are 1. So anything where Andrew and I know, it have to affect she. Anything where she come on affect him as well. Cause two devious people we have in our country, you know. Yeah. Very, very dangerous couple that in a Jamaica. Them supposed to be the most celebrated couple, but them are the most evilest couple in the country. Rob and thief from poor people. Yeah. Thief all people, democracy rights. Yeah. So me glad now when we see this thing I go. And you're the most, you know, topical point when we love legal document must be served on Andrew Wellness.
Love that.
I love that gone to bits, man. Yes, man. Can't feel like him bigger than lying at Jamaica, this shit prime minister. We are run the place, you know. Yeah. But we tell him, you know, your third term shall be your worst term.
Me know him want vomit.
Well, him can't vomit because him could have take lampile and all type of dog medicine, you know. You understand? Him good, you know, him could have take lampile and him and yam grass, you know, a dog use to clean them inside. Because I'm a dog, you know, me tell him long time. Him the prime minister material and him the surplus to requirement. Him a piece of shit. You understand? The amount to help me have the money where Andrew have. Would I leave politics after serving from 1997 to 2025? Yeah, you're talking about almost 3 decades. Time to hang up my boots now and leave it to somebody else. You understand?
He can't
Because the
imagine
amount of money we have, the amount of money we have should allow him to, but him cannot. Because him have to know I try well up the thing them now, the loophole. But we can't crack it same way. You understand? Yeah, man. So we just have to make Andrew understand, say, the knowledge where we have and where we have to impart on the people in Jamaica, it will carry him right to prison. Because at the end of the day, you know, remember, you know, people from civil society listen, you know, I will give them good advice and they buy into what we are saying because they realize what we are saying are factual, not tabloid. So we even give them a lot of credence going forward. Because if we just take where Andrew go out with and just sleep on it, you know, get to man, I ramp up the pressure upon him from day one, you know. I will not stop beat it. Make the people know them steal the election. Because we know the 9-day one around here. So when this pressure reach Andrew, yeah, you realize say Andrew back now up against the wall. That's Andrew and his wife are bring all parliament into chaos. Andrew miss parliament. A guy was saying vibrant and he want all 4th term, but in his 3rd term, the first few sitting him absent. You know, say Andrew have something bother him. Something is worrying Andrew. And it can only be the court case we have with the Integrity Commission. Nothing else can bother him, you know. No. The man have money to look bad. The man is a super mega billionaire in a CARICOM. I hope there's some put him thing now. So nothing should not worry him. But a greed like Ruel greed make Andrew find himself here so. Andrew single-handedly destroy our education system. Yeah? Him responsible for that. And because him did use Ruel Reid as him advisor, Ruel Reid see what monkey do and do what monkey do eventually. You understand? And I saw they mash up the place. And him venture further in a society money and rob everything. Call the money we are draw down from NHT, you know. When I go back in the way friend, Dex him get 650 million, you know. Yeah? Him have a guy like Big Nasty Mama, a operate a radio station, a so-called radio station, because that is a mouthpiece propaganda entity. You understand? Where the license will get revoked. And me ask Cardell Green to move the license with them have. Yeah? him have him default the country tax administration 1.5 billion plus 10 write-off did proceed that. Yeah. And then when we look and see him, you know, and do them know some can't do them thing and a melting pot round at the space. Melting pot have a light fire underneath that. Here we Andrew do know. Andrew draw the same piece of shit from India. The corrupted nastiness when can come the red carpet and turn him in an ambassador. Yeah. Dushan Shabadia. Carry him, go merge him with nasty Big Mama and them come up with that thing near River TV. Yeah, take new building down a waterfront. You understand? But me want to ask the authority in Jamaica, the powers that being, our guy who is delinquent is allowed to merge his business with another businessman. What can go so? I want to tell me, you know. Because that business will wind up from long time. Wind up. So there's no way him can operate that him and get all another associate for partnership with him.
And you are correct,
you know,
sir. You're correct.
You know, of course. So me I sound it out from tonight, you know, and tonight I'm going to beat it again for the Titan, you know. This is illegal with River TV merging with Nasty Big Mama. Yeah. It is illegal because Big Mama delinquent to the tune of almost $1.5 billion. So an entity that is not operating on the grounds of, you know, truancy, it's delinquency, it's in a bankruptcy, yeah? Then how you get partnership? Who authorized that? Cardell Green. Cardell Green, you have to move towards this, you know. Are you in charge, you know, at the media house in Jamaica, you know? Yeah. I will know you to be a credible individual. So you know have to take a stand with this and say, no, this can't happen. Yeah. Because you saw face them face it and bright. You know which day them use to inaugurate the merger. September the 3rd.
Yeah, that's when
September the 3rd, my people.
Yeah.
And the first time we hear about this River TV in partnership with Nasty Big Mama. You understand? But are the same guy who jam the system. Are the same guy who jam the system. The electronic side of the voting. Internet gone down, light gone off. All type of bangarang. What can go so? Well, Andrew, we know what can go so. Corruption at its highest. I yield back the floor to my brother.
What a wonderful punch. Let me tell you, son, how much is a sledge? All right, melting pot, love it bad. But guess what, people? We are going to go into the intricacies now of Ruel Reid case. And let me say this, people. Mystic Sensation is saying that Ruel Reid is going to be convicted. And I presume that Melting Pot is saying the same thing. Now, based on what I am looking on, there's no way that Ruel Reid can walk from this. Now, let me say this to Jamaica. The beginning of destruction as it relates to Ruel Reid is also the beginning of Andrew Holness' destruction. Because Andrew Holness tied with Ruel Reid. We are going to explain that. This case, as it relates to Ruel Reid, right? This case, from once Ruel Reid found guilty, Andrew Holness' knees are going to be shaking. And this is no joke. Juliet Holness' knees are going to be shaken. No joke. GLP administration is going to be broken and crumbled. No joke. This is very serious. extremely serious. And they know they are not comfortable. Now let us get into this and show. Now, bring up this. Mocha agent testify in Ruel Reid case. Now, people, this is Mr. Attitude, Mr. Ugly and Feisty. Look on him. Let me show him first. Mr. Attitude, Mr. Ugly and Feisty, and Father God no like ugly. Now, Mocha agent testifies in Ruel Reid and court trial. Right? Now, people, let us get into this and bite into this. Testimony of invoices worth hundreds of thousands of dollars made out to Caribbean Maritime University with the name of a former driver of Ruel Reid was shared in court as the fraud trial of the former education minister, ex-CMU President Fitz Pinnock, and their three co-accused continue on Tuesday. People make a bite into this. There is no getaway for Ruel Reid. Two more witnesses, including a representative of the Office of the Registrar General, formerly Registrar General's Department, and a chief special agent of the major organized crime and anti-corruption agency, in abbreviation, MOCA, were called by the prosecution before the defense lodged an objection to the testimony of the MOCA agent. No, you can't lodge. Well, I mean, you can lodge the objection, but the objection is not going to be sustained. Now, the chief special agent told the court she was the officer who took a statement from the now deceased Devon McQueen, who had been identified before the court as Reid's former driver. The prosecution said it's attempting to get McQueen's statement tendered into evidence. And of course, it is going to be tendered into evidence. The chief special agent told the court that on March 23, 2019, while she held the rank of detective sergeant at MOCA, she was called in to assist the Financial Investigation Division, FID, which FID have the authority to call in, right, any force that connected with the investigation based on certain amendment. They have the right to do that. And a matter, and that on April 24 that year, she and Inspector Brenton Williams met McQueen at a home in Vineyard Town. Now, people, we get into this. She briefly interviewed him before inviting him to come to FID office in Kingston. And while at the office, showed McQueen 4 invoices. When you hear the bangarang now, people, when you listen now. She shared from memory the contents of those invoices, which were dated January, February, March, and April 2018. The agent said all 4 were addressed to Caribbean Maritime University, bore the name Devon McQueen, and the notation for the provision of student needs. When you hear that, people, when you hear the criminality, listen up. The February and March invoices had a sum of $30,000 each, while the other 2 had sums of $330,000 each. Following this, the agent said McQueen was again interviewed and gave a statement to the chief special agent, which he read and signed. I remember talk about read and signed because I was a police officer. I can explain this, and I can say that this is going to be tendered into evidence. Now, normally when we take a statement from, right, whether said we take a statement from whether the subject, suspect, or whatever we want to call it, right, complainant or what. What we do as police officers, in terms of completing that statement, we would definitely do a certification of the statement. And let me explain the certification for any detective, right, in the chat and who are listening to me, they can agree. The certification in the statement would state that on Monday such and such, right, I, Byron Arton, right, had given the statement, right, to constable such and such, right, at the location such and such. This statement was read over to me and I signed over same to be true and correct. Honestly, I still remember my thing. I still remember my thing, you know. So then I know that the investigator, the agent, right, would have certified, right, this particular piece of evidence as it relates to the statement being collected. And after collecting the statement, right, that person would have, it would have read over to that person, and that person would have signed in agreement, right, of giving the statement as it relates to signatures affixed to the document to certify the statement that it was given by him and it was read over, right, and he signed same, my Jamaican people, to be true and correct. Commissioner of Police, you know what I just said is true. And so you know that the statement is fundamental. And that is one of the reasons why you have you, Wildman, not challenging the evidence, but trying to go through procedural breakdown. Mr. Wildman, there is no procedural breakdown here. Let me say that categorically clear. Now, since we explained that to the people, the prosecution maintained that the agent's testimony was required for the context of her interaction with McQueen, whose statement they want to be submitted into evidence. Presiding Judge Sanchia Burrell overruled the objection, of course, and the willingness was allowed to continue. The witness was allowed to continue, of course. Thank you, Judge Sanchia Burrell, doing an excellent job. Love you so far. The agents also told the court that on September 24, 2025, she identified McQueen from a photocopy of a funeral program which she said bore his image. She again identified him from the same photo in the court. Come on, people, we are getting into this business here. I remember, open quote, I remember Mr. McQueen because he had a very large nose, like Andrew Holness.
Yeah.
A memorable face, I should say. She said, Attorney Hugh Wildman, let me hear what you say now, who represent Pinup, objected to the witness, asking that she not being allowed to continue her testimony. And let me ask why. Why Mr. Wildman? She's not allowed to continue her testimony. Well, we know you are trying thing. We know you are trying thing. Justice Earl noted his objection, right, but ruled that the witness would continue. And of course, and told Wildman that there would be an appropriate time to make submission regarding his objection. Wildman maintained that the witness was giving evidence of a conversation between herself and McQueen and described it as hearsay. No, this cannot be hearsay, Mr. Wildman. When statement being collected and the statement certified, read over to the person who had given the statement, who signed same to be true and correct, that cannot be hearsay. I want to hear Mr. Wildman. We're there, you know. However, Burrell informed him that no such evidence regarding any conversation had been shared. Wildman went on to lodge his objection, adding that information collected by Williams under the FID act would have informed the Mocha agent's investigation and was thus inadmissible. Why you say, Mr. Wildman? You want to go back? You want to go back in terms of showing you for the responsibilities and showing you as it relates to shared information. You want to go back to Mr. Wildman and show you that? Now, he further said that Mocha agent cannot avail herself of information collected under the FIT Act, describing the evidence as stated. You're crazy. Yeah, my brethren, boy, you're crazy. The attorney also objected the photo of McQueen being admitted into evidence, indicating that the document was collected in breach of the FIT Act and is hearsay as it was collected outside of the presence of the accused and is therefore irrelevant. You're mad. No, Mr. Wildman, no. No, I say you're born. No, Mr. Wildman, I say you're born. Prior to the Mocha agent, the Registrar General Representative who works within the Authentication, Verification and Identity Department had explained how death records specifically are created and gave testimony of retrieving the original copy of a death certificate for Mr. McQueen and having that copy certified before it was passed on to the police. The copy after identification by the Registrar General Representative was submitted into evidence on Tuesday. Into evidence. The allegation in the trial are that Reed and his wife Sharon, their daughter Cheryl, Councillor Kim Brown Lawrence, and Pinnock participated in a scheme that siphoned more than 25 million in government funding from the Ministry of Education and CMU between 2016 and 2019. Court resumed on Wednesday when Wildman is expected to bring cases to support his objection. I don't know where you're going to bring to support your objection, you know. Right? Because we have all of the amendments and all of the act that FIT Act under, right, to say that FIT Act in tandem of the law. I don't know where you're going to get. Where you're going to do. With a response from the prosecution before the judge rules and whether the agent will be allowed to continue her testimony. Let us take that away. Now, my Jamaican people, let us go through, right, more serious matter in terms of that is the Mocha agent. We are going to go through the general situation as it relates to the entire case. Right? And then, of course, we bring in melting pot. Let us go through the general situation as it relates to the case. Now, so that is the Mocha agent testimony, right? Let us go through now the general situation now with the case. Now, prosecutors outlined damning allegation against Ruel Reed. Right? Now, let us get into that. Crown prosecutor told the court that between March 2016 and October 2019, the 5 accused, Reed, his wife Sharon Reed, who was employed to the Caribbean Maritime University as manager of legal affairs, their daughter Cheryl Reed, Councillor Kim Brown Lawrence, and former president of the CMU, Fitz Pinnock, participated in a scheme with others unknown, which siphoned off a revised figure of more than 25 million from both the Ministry of Education and CMU. Let me ask a question. I don't want to get in trouble, but just ask a question. Andrew Honest, have you gotten any money out of this? I don't know if piece of the food reach you. May I ask you, Andrew? Piece of the food reach you out of this? I don't ask a question, I don't accuse you. I ask a piece of the food reach you. May I ask if piece of the food reach you? It is alleged that this money was funneled through transfers to various accounts, either owned or controlled by the accused or handed over in cash, with the recipient either knowing or reasonably should have known it was criminal property, resulting in charges of the acquisition of criminal property. Now, Andrew Wallace, let me ask you another question. realize Ruel Reid, right, funnel all of them money out. You understand? Through 28 accounts. And then we see you come up also with 28 accounts. But what seems to be quite suspicious isn't that between 2007 to 2009, Ruel Reid was your advisor? Yes, Andrew. Ruel Reid was your advisor. So let me ask. I want to know as it relates to the pattern of behavior here. The MO here seems to be now befitting as it relates to the two personalities that me I talk about, as it relates to Ruel Reid and Andrew Holness. Multiple accounts and money being siphoned off. So, may I ask, I wish one of you guys formulate the strategy here. I want to know if it is Ruel Reid who taught you, or you who taught Ruel Reid. But you know, Andrew Holness, when we dig deep, me realize that and Ruel Reid really corrupt you, you know. Me now they understand say, are you corrupt Ruel Reid, you know? Why me say that? Ask me why me say it, Andrew. Ask me why me say it. Melting pot.
Yeah, my brother.
Act like Andrew and ask me why me say it.
Yeah, Byron, why you say me corrupt?
All right,
Ruel
let me tell
Reid.
you now. In 1995, between 1995 and 1996, because if you understand, say you, Andrew, you were doing Edward Seaga finances. You were Edward Seaga financial controller. And I get to understand, Melting Pot,
Yeah.
that, no, me should have called you Andrew. Me get to understand, Andrew.
No. I will answer accordingly. But that word there, the word of destruction, Andrew.
All right. Let me just call you there because you don't want the name Andrew.
No, sir.
All right. I get to understand, right, that when Edward Seaga borrowed 30 million US dollars from Dan Crawford, you should have known about it because you were Edward Seaga financial advisor.
Well, I didn't know about it.
Oh, you didn't know about it?
I didn't know about it.
Okay, so
I'm not gonna lie. I didn't know about it.
Did you take some of the money, sir, and purchase 2 of the FinSac properties?
Yes, I did.
Okay. So then, I don't understand as it relates to, did you follow a track to ensure that that money, the $31 million that was borrowed from Dan Crawford, was it paid back?
No, that money wasn't paid back, you know, because I mean, you know, that was a Ponzi scheme, and I mean, the Dan did make I aware of it, so I was just there merely overlooking but not doing anything. I can't get involved with the Dan business.
But you are aware
Remember,
that Dan didn't pay it back? I'm asking a question.
Yes, I am aware.
Back?
I am aware that the Dan did not pay it back to the other Dan. Because two Dan meeting, a Dan Crawford and Seaga the Dan.
Hold on. I don't want you to overtalk me when I'm asking you the question. So let me ask you the question. Did you at any time make any effort in highlighting this to the Dan, that money still being owed and still need to be paid? Did you at any time do that?
No, I didn't do that, you know, because if I should explain the whole fact of the matter, I wasn't really the one doing the accounting, you know.
So who was it?
I was only merely you know, a poster boy. But I can't do accounting, I do sciencing.
Oh, I understand where you're going. So are you saying that, did you think your wife facilitate because your wife is is an accountant, not you?
Well, most
Based on your profile. Hold on. I'm asking a question. Based on your profile has nothing to suggest that you have any experience in accounts.
absolutely no experience in accounting.
So let me ask you a question. Is your wife an accountant?
Yes, certified. Work with PricewaterhouseCoopers.
Oh, all right, you know what? Let me leave it there for now and take on the report. Let us leave it there for now.
Okay.
Prosecutors allege that there were fraudulent payments made for work that was never done or services which were never provided to either the ministry or university. Now this serious. Money being paid out and no work not being done.
It's the usual modus operandi for them.
Where's that? The usual modus operandi? Oh, all right. And that the money from these payments was transferred from the CMU and MOE to the accused through either third parties or to bank accounts held or controlled by the accused backside. Now, this look like he gone to prison now. This look like the door them pop off. All of the door them him conceal himself behind. All of the door them pop off. Now this look like him gone, you know. Now, Pinnock and Reed are accused of using their roles as public servants to mastermind. Only here. To mastermind. And effect a scheme in which individuals were being paid on a regular basis by CMU without knowledge that they were being paid. No, the people have nothing know say them being paid. No, sir. And in which invoices for goods and services were generated, but not by the individuals being paid. What can go so?
I'm telling you.
So, sir, these are the circumstances that I do believe that it is bro God who corrupted this man, who did not at any time provide stated services or goods to CMU, resulting in charges of conspiracy to defraud.
Definitely.
This looks serious, Papa.
More than serious.
Serious. Now, the two are also charged with acts of corruption under Section 15 of the Corruption Act. Pinnock for allegedly facilitating the payment of monies from CMU by authorizing fraudulent vouchers, and Reed in his capacity as a minister for causing money to be paid out from the MOE and CMU for work, goods, and services not provided. Now, so let me ask a question here, sir. So they must pay out money, and there is no proof that work being done for the money they must pay out. What? I saw them take care of people business. I saw them love the citizens of Jamaica. I saw them love taxpayers. This is the way them take care of taxpayers' money. Just pay out taxpayers' money to people. You understand? And no work not done. And then guess what? The money is swingle now to feed them personal account, you know.
It's a sheriff of nothing.
Yeah.
But how the backside is? Well, on now. The prosecution indicated to the court that it is planning to call witnesses to show that the money was sent from CMU, a bang around this, to them despite them not being contracted to CMU. So,
right.
The prosecution, people who listen, you know, the prosecution have evidence and is going to call witnesses who is going to show evidence as it relates to money that's sent to them, you know. And they are giving witness, they are giving evidence that them not do no work, you know.
Them not do no work.
Melting pot.
Yes, my brother.
Me not
And I
think say,
mean,
yeah, when the judge done with them, you know, me not think that this to me, them a pass prison, you know. No,
pass prison man.
no,
Hey,
this evidence here alone, write them off. No wonder
yes,
why
man.
no wonder why you, wild man, is not really challenging the evidence because
No, I'm not challenge the evidence. And him can't challenge the evidence.
Hold on, transactional proof of money being paid into the people in account from CMU and the people that don't know work. You give them hundreds and thousands of dollars for no work being done. And then the people are responsible, you understand, to pass the money into your personal account.
Right.
Hey, them going to prison till they look bad.
But
hold on. Them. With some of those, hold on, melting pot because you get sweet as well. With some of those authorization being sent via text, charge, evidence.
Yeah, man.
Melting pot then gone.
Them gone, man. Them sink. Them sink.
Let me read it over. People then gone. The prosecution indicated to the court that it is planning to call witnesses to show that the money was sent from CMU to them despite them not being contracted to CMU. You hear, people? This money was alleged paid out on the instruction or under the authorization of Reed and Pinnock, with some of those authorization being sent via text. Is done to us. Sorry for the language. People in done. Him done. Take this away.
Him gone, man. Him gone.
Done.
Him gone.
And when we deal with him, now let me talk no melting pot, because I know say you're vexed, you know.
No, sir, go on talk.
Me not ask about the conviction, the prosecution, you know. Me pass that already now. Me ask a question now. Melting pot, me go read.
Yeah.
We know say Ruel Reed was Andrew Warner's advisor.
Right.
And me I wonder that Ruel Reed may have some information that critical to investigation. So what may I say? After we find him guilty, would you, melting pot, agree for us to offer him a plea bargain if he can give us substantial information on Andrew Ones?
Yes, yes. I would, you know, because I mean, for Ruel Reed, I have to look on a sentence about 35 years. So, you know, if him can give me a plea bargain,
give more than that.
If him Ruel Reed can give me a plea bargain, yeah, I would take off 10 years off of the 35 and give him 25. You understand? Because the 25 when I give him, you know, relate to the 25 million from down at Caribbean Maritime University and the Ministry of Education. You understand? So 1 year for every million there, so nothing wrong with that. But yeah, me that take a plea bargain from him. Because we know him and Andrew did have close affiliation as him being Andrew consultant.
But he still up for the time.
Well, him after the time.
Well,
25 years, I'm going to tell me I take off at the 35 and marry. I'm going to tell
you. Stay up on the podium. Don't come off of the podium. But let me say something and then maybe just make it talk. Now, Ruel Reed, I know you're listening, you know. But do the right thing. You understand? We know say you can't get out of this case. You understand? But if you have any information, solid information on Andrew Ones that would give strength to any investigation, you understand? Take a plea bargain. Cut a deal. You understand? And deliver Andrew Ones to us. All right, go ahead, melting pot.
Yes, and I mean, you know, I like how everything now a simmer down. You know, why one thing we know, the pot of food, yeah, the pot of corruption, yeah, over 6 years, you know, brother. But at last it has simmer down. I can't smell it.
Yes.
Smell good too. You understand? Smell good. Yeah, man. Smell good. All kind of lobster.
Take your time on the podium because you are close you out, you know. This is the last thing because
okay.
Yeah.
Well,
So
I
take
have
it
so
out.
much to say. I have
All
so
right,
much to
go
say.
on.
At 6 years, this party I cook, you know.
Yes.
I remember Caribbean Maritime University, you know, it out near the sea there. So me have lobster, me have sea crab, me have parrot, me have goldfish, me have snapper, me have wenchman, me have doctor, me have grunt, me have turbot, me have tiki, me have sprat, me have macaw, me have every whole, me have the whole world, me have all sea turtle in it too.
Why you give me curry shrimp today?
So me I tell you, this party a smell good. Well, Mocha agent now, yeah. We know some Mocha, you know, they do a little pre-dawn raid at this guy, Ruel Reed apartment. You understand? And so we know Mocha close to where I go in terms of the case. Yeah. So Mocha now, in them testament that show say, you know, them have evidence say hundreds of thousands, yeah, was, you know, fictitiously mentioned to a taxi driver by the name of Devon McQueen, who is now deceased. Yeah. But I remember this taxi driver coming out and stating categorically, said, not like that. The only thing in the for this guy, a Ruel Reed, was to drop off him youth them and pick them up back and run like an errand for him, that's all. Him not do not like catering where Ruel Reed did a say. You understand? Him pay the money into this guy thing for catering. This guy never have no catering. Yeah, Devon McQueen was only a taxi driver and a taxi driver only. Right? So that just goes to show you, say Ruel Reed knew very well that him did something wrong and him have to find a way to cover it up using other people, yeah, indirectly attaching them to him criminal activity. Because them people are not involved in nothing, you know. But through them round him as the driver, yeah, him say him a caterer. So he made that pay him money. Driver say a lie. All right. Now, Fid, yeah, who's in charge, call in the chief from Woka and then get Devon McQueen to come a Fid, come get a statement. And that was conducted. Yeah, when the statement was done, they read the statement, the chief, yeah, from Walker, read the statement back to McQueen, yeah, and McQueen listened attentively and signed in agreement to the statement. All right? So,
Oh, hold on. Let me put you on the ear. Let me put you on the ear. Hold on. Let me put you on the ear. Hold on.
Bring him in.
Hold on, the caller. Melting pot. Hold on there.
Yeah, man, the pause, man. Yeah, bring him in.
Yes, go ahead, caller.
Yeah, when Ruel Reed did that lock up an ISAT tree, and him go in the bathroom for use the bathroom, the bike. Him say he has to talk to Andrew. And the police then take him out and carry him go downstairs, go use the officer's bathroom.
Go ahead, talk from beginning.
Talk from the beginning, caller.
Yes. When Ruel Reed did that ISAT tree lock up.
Yes.
The first time when them lock him up.
Mm-hmm.
And then they forgot to use the bathroom.
Were you there with him?
Use the bathroom with the regular prisoner them. Him said we have to talk to Andrew. And them send call the superintendent and them alone to use the officer's bathroom.
Oh. Okay. So you're saying this to say, let me hear it from you, that Ruel Reed may have information that can incriminate Andrew Holness. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay. All right. And were you there? Were you there during the time when Ruel Reed got locked up?
Yes.
Okay, so you witnessed all of this.
Witness all right. No, I use the bathroom with the regular prisoner them.
Okay.
We have to talk to Andrew.
Wow. So let me ask you a question. May I ask you a personal question?
Put it this way, instruction sent to them to take him out from the regular jail house and they put him back in the way the way I'm call it now. One holding area.
Yeah.
But it never get for you to bathroom with a regular prisoner. By the next day I'm gone.
Okay. Let me ask you a question. I am just preempting something, right? So the possibility that Ruel Reid get convicted, which we, based on the evidence, right, it's very strong. Would you agree that, you know, if he wants to do a plea bargain as it relates to, you know, giving up a higher authority, right, where Andrew Holness is concerned, would you agree for a plea bargain, for him to do a plea bargain in order to have the bigger fish, to get the bigger fish where Andrew Holness is concerned? Would you agree with that?
Yes, we agree with it. We welcome anything to bring down the criminals.
Okay. All right. Thank you, caller. Happy to hear from you. Wonderful call. Love it. All right. Blessings. All right, Melting Pot. Go ahead.
Yeah, so we look back on, you know, the whole procedure and we see a pattern, yeah? And the pattern what we see is that them set up them thing, yeah, but them want to deflect themselves from the real center of the whole corruption, but them bring in people, yeah? Not through any direct, you know, connection, but indirect, as it relates to people getting paid when they work. You understand? But them people, let them have them account, you know. Them have the account, and then like them do a thing and contact the people and say, all right, put it back here, so. Yeah, cause we see that with grandma, you know, the helper, you know. She was told to have an account set up in a fair name and a lot of money going there. But the account was not kept by her. It was kept by Ruel Reid. And Ruel Reid never used to accompany this elderly lady to the bank and do the transaction and, you know, give back what it is rightfully or and lawfully to Ruel Reid, because him never bring it back. And remember, you know, the elderly woman who was his helper, Ruel Reid helper, stated that she only got 30,000. So you're going to ask a question, yeah? Why Ruel Reid, as a prominent, you know, society, member of society, because I remember Ruel Reid was the principal for Jamaica College, you know, and then him going into politics, yeah? Why and become the Minister of Education? Why would Ruel Reid now allow himself to ask, you know, anyone outside of his household to open an account for him? Unless he's doing something fraudulent.
Yes.
So here it is now, it come back with these people now, money going into them account. Yeah. Money sent to people account who did not work, but the money go back to Ruel Reid them. Yeah. So what Ruel Reid is trying to eliminate is traceable transaction of the money. But these people now that the code crack, all of these people who were a part of that corruption where Ruel Reid orchestrate will have to come and give evidence to clear themselves. Because remember, them the money went to, you know. So them have to tell what them talk, what them do with the money. So as so much people now are gonna come testify against Ruel Reid. That's why I know you, wild man. Yeah, him can't challenge the evidence that is at hand. Yeah. What you, wild man, is trying is filing a motion as it relates to the case, but him can't challenge the case. And the motion where Ruel Reid a file now is for, I mean, you wild man a file, is to extend the hearing and fleece Ruel Reid out of some of the money where him thief. You understand? And that we are seeing up because there's so much evidence at hand now where Mocha and Fid have, yeah? We have a sink Ruel Reid further than where Titanic sink. I remember them evidence of the anchor him can't move. Anyway, he have to spend like what you see Titanic there and can't move. He have to go to prison for a long time, but we still can't do a little plea bargain deal with him. But the only thing me can take off is a 1 decade. Me can't go further than a 1 decade. I take off 10 off a 35. You understand? Because when him back the day of light, you know, there's nothing him can enjoy. Just like when him take with the youth them education opportunity, yeah, and them can enjoy, you know, what them did have inside here, so them can really utilize it in the way them supposed to utilize it because of this guy here. You understand? So we want no say, well then, yes, Ruel Reid, a plea bargain is on the table. But based on the facts, me I give you half of where God say you have to live out 70 years, 3 scores and 10, me I give you 35, me I take off 10 and drop it at 25 and make it work out to the 25 million where you move from Caribbean Maritime University and the Ministry of Education. You understand? That portion there. You understand? I remember you move some more from the real ministry now. Because you're some gone over 50 million, you know, so me should have really give you 50 years. But when me look at your age right now, it's kind of too brutal. Few people live to be centurion. You understand? So me want give you something on top of your age where look like you would have really last a distance there.
Imagine that.
Yes, brother. Yes.
Wife says she don't agree with no plea bargain.
No, me agree with the plea bargain.
Oh, you agree with
give
the
him
plea
the
bargain?
50.
Yes.
Give him the 50. If you do the crime, you do the time. And then
yes, Anne-Marie. Oh. Anne-Marie, I applaud you so much. I should elevate the sentencing time to 50 years really and truly and take 10 off it.
Yep.
Yeah. I should do that.
You do the crime.
And you're right. Because this guy I know, I want serious criminal, you know. That's why me sure you wild man in our previous, you know, session where we do. And when we do that session there, I Tuesday. Yes.
Yeah, a Tuesday.
And I tell you wild man say, when I look pan in front time them Ruel Reid and them 4 co-defendants them who accused. It's an organized crime. And it's sure you can't see a whole lot of people from outside the network are involved and get money in them account. See the tax money, but I lie them tell upon the people them. And see the helper there. She go up the account, she get 30,000 for open account for a guy with a prominent citizen.
But mention Pat. The thing what I'm saying in terms of the stupidity of Ruel Reid, right, and Pinnock. Were the text messages to these people, you understand, that automatically will link them.
Of course. But you have to contact them, you know, to make them know so the money we're gone. Because them people probably don't know so the money are going to them account, you know. I like him catch them and one-on-one in our room like this now and them do them thing privately without it being attached to the electronic device, you know. What them do, them have the people them account and name and address. Because remember them set up account with them people that pay money into, you know, them tuition, you know. And them same set of people I think them use. Yeah. And then run the money back into them and contact them via text message and say so and so some money being put into your account. Can you kindly, you know, return it to such account? Or to whoever. Or something like that may I see.
Yeah.
You understand? Because the people it states so the people don't know nothing about it more than them some money come to them account and they were asked to pay it back to return it.
It was put in their mistakenly, so they need to return it.
Yes.
Right.
And return to their account.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Which connect them now. They're in a serious trouble.
They're in a serious trouble. That's why them set up the 28 account, you know. Where we never know of nothing like that in Jamaica. It's either 1 or 2 account to pay tuition in a man. When you register your thing, man. Yeah, your school tuition fee, 1 or 2 account, man. 28. But at 28 there in line with the Prime Minister 28 account. So maybe Andrew really teach Ruel Reid. So when you do criminal activity, just come up with 28. I don't know if the monkey man tell Andrew that. I don't know if it was Kevin Smith with a bat him give him that number there for work with. But at 28 there, it's very familiar. You understand?
Yes.
But I know the same fate of Ruel Reid and the 4 co-accused I go meet out. And the same thing Andrew and size 13 and the rest them I go dealt with. Because right now, yeah, the justice system start to mobilize themselves back again in the right format. Them start to turn over and start to show interest now in the public affairs. You can't have them little guy. Them guy are not different from the body that me I talk about. Them are same Jamaican citizen by birth. And especially nasty Andrew Wallace who talk about him come from the ghetto. Him a shit. Because ghetto people don't get nothing from Andrew more than handout. You understand? Ghetto people don't get no privilege. Ghetto people deal with and treated underprivileged under Andrew Wallace administration. Anytime you have to run and wait for handout, the man no respect you. The man put your life as an underprivileged life, you know, privilege. Because if you're privileged, you're not going to handout. Yeah, we see Juliet Wallace do it up a fair place with gunman pastor Rydell Rowe, a nasty criminal, yeah, Edgerton Newman, who is a known pedophile, sex offender, have them a give out gas voucher, and all some nasty people from up there, some big crufty ugly man and some nasty woman that take them things from them criminal there. Eh? No criminal can come give me a voucher. You understand? In a public and a PR, it everybody see me I get. You know, hey, them people have to go to prison. Juliet, Andrew, and them 5 years where we are look on, them involved in an organized crime. When you look on the rest of them, when we don't hear them name yet, but who we have idea who they are the same dose or recipe to reach them. Prison, and long-term prison sentence. Don't look a slap on the wrist like Mubako. She get a lightly because the thing did corrupt at the time, but I like how the thing now start to show so it get back the semblance of cleanness. Yeah, because them same judges there who preside over case in Jamaica and who live in Jamaica. If you don't clean the society, it will bite you eventually. And them I realize you can't breed crocodile and alligator around you. I expect them will protect you. They will name you one of the day. So the justice system now are moving accordance to what them know constitute a good society where you can live and feel comfortable and not have to look over your shoulder. You have to cut the corruption from the top. Because Andrew them and the whole of them, you know, or them orchestrate them thing, you know. Them use them self-gain power, you know. Yeah? Because people don't give them type of power. People give them privilege. So them use them self-gain power, yeah, and administrate it in a way that them filter it down to the little youth them in the ghetto community. Like our Dr. Crab, where you know them import a whole heap of things. Because WikiLeaks say it, you know, so me can't say it. You know them on the traffic gun and drugs. You understand? WikiLeaks say it. They who get them thing there. No little underprivileged youth them in the ghetto, man. And it hurt other people in a society. Because them like when the country have them high level controversy. You understand? After the party are operating. You know. You think Andrew and Tough Tongue care about the level 4 travel advisor on crime and no! Them not care about that. If them did care, they would have do something in the first place. They would be proactive. They would not have to react to it. First world country, I say. Them sector, they would have never get so depleted and deplorable. They would have keep it up to a standard. So it shows them not care. That's why Cornwall Beryllium Hospital can't done. That's why the Prime Minister keep Sleepy Joe Crab as Minister of National Security and him deputy. Even when him knows him linked to a gang called Stone Crusher. No, if you run a gang, you know, a gang with a name like Stone Crusher. Now when Stone Crusher are dead, you know. Be certain of that. But them gang they no fling stone. And David will use sling and stone. Yeah, this slew Goliath. Them gang I use high power guns with ammunition. Now, if you are in charge of a gang and you're the big Dan, you're the CEO, they have to make sure no so them have all what them need for work with, man. Yeah. So when you look on it, you know, even though Crab a criminal, you know, Crab make sure no film gang get all the tools what them need, but in a tough tongue case, doctor them have no machinery in the hospital. You understand? And if you notice that them two man them say was 1 and 2 in the survey, you know. Said Tough Tongue was #1 best working politician and Crab #2. What can go so? And it proved to the world that the 2 man them ministry commander level 4 travel advisory by the international community. So we know them blew that poll was a lie. And we were telling them that all along. Them 2 man are 2 delinquent politicians. Them delinquent. Them are criminal. They haven't done nothing for the ministry that they represent. Nothing. But yet still them come and boast for them spend the most money for health and security. Them chop the most money. Chop the most money. Under the Jamaica Labour Party are the most illegal gunship coming out of the country. Are the most contraband as it relates to Class A substance like cocaine we ever see run through the border end up in our country. You understand? But sometimes, you know, Jah work in a mysterious way, you know. I remember in a pandemic, you know, Tough Tongue was the Ministry of Health, you know. Yeah, who supposed to know, say, him not supposed to go around and move up and down, you know. Because everybody did under quarantine, basically, you know. But Tough Tongue out a road at night with rope and hold up man, you know. But the man is not a Jamaican. You understand? And that man was never handed over to the law enforcement officer in Jamaica. And that man leave Jamaica. But we don't hear why Tough Tongue time. Because you can't just see a man and time up, you know. No. And oh, you are traveling with rope. A guy like a minister of health traveling with rope. No, you have something more like a sounding trumpet and all them things, man, and some medication. You can't travel with rope, man. Eh? So you either go do some form of pre their last and take up people goat and hog and cow. I don't know. For you have rope. But Tough Tongue end up tying up a man hours a night. And the man is not a Jamaican. So Tough Tongue know where I do. Sure, so the whole of them involve themselves in these high-level corruption with drugs traffickers. This is why we see under the Jamaica Labour Party so much plane crash land in our place. But nobody no get arrested. Nobody and nobody not dead when them crash land either. And police will know the whole terrain and which part them crash and it's supposed to take them a couple of minutes, take them 3 hours. Them wait till the plane burn out. Them all them nasty self in the cane field. I show PR to it. Cause the whole of them link. The whole of, hey, you have some little man, you know, in a Jamaica. If you ever know them account, you drop down. But when you look on the job of them I do, you not categorize them there so with wealth. Cause you're not supposed to lift them to that standard there. But just watch how them live. Look on the vehicle where them drive. Yeah, because a mafia government we have around Jamaica and it involves so much other mafia, it's unbelievable. And that is why we said enough is enough and time come. Yeah, I know Marky G word, you know. It stands predominantly, you know. It's not just for the election alone, you know. Time come for everything like Jamaica. Time come for these boys being exposed. A charge and sentence. You understand? Time come now for the people who is charged with the responsibility to charge and sentence these people to get to work and work professionally. So time come, really and truly. You understand? And I know, say, under the powers of the Almighty, yeah, deliverance shall be stored upon the people of Jamaica. And I yield the floor, my brother.
All right. So there you have it as it relates to, of course, the afternoon programs. And you know that, again, the Titans, right, that we are going to please sharpen up for Titans later, right? And so let me just hand over to Wifey to close us out. To Wifey.
Okay, guys, thank you as usual so much for tuning in. Really appreciate each and every one time. You could have been otherwise engaged, but you chose to be with us. We do not take that lightly. So thank you so much. Thank you so much as well. Bless Melting Pot, bless up yourself. And guys, take care. Walk good.
Well, Melting Pot, you bring the sledge.
Yeah, man, I do that and I'll
to everyone in Jamaica, please, please, please make sure you follow the instructions of the authorities for the upcoming weather condition, and make sure, again, if you are in flood-prone areas, please, please, please evacuate those areas and go to safety, because it will not be just yourself that you're putting at risk, but if anybody tries to come and rescue you, then that rescuer is going to be at risk as well. Material things can be replaced, but a life cannot be. So please, please, please make sure you take all the necessary precautions and make sure you have enough supplies that will last you a few days until after the weather. Again, one love, Jamaica. Bless up.
All right.
Bye.
Blessings. Blessings. All right, Melting Pot.
I know why you come to me with that foolishness, you know. You elect a prime minister, and is a prime minister run the country. It is time we learn to hold our leaders accountable for their actions and stop making excuses for them. Stop making excuses. Otherwise, go elect the people who really run in the country. And I don't want the right kind of stupid argument. Hold the people you elect accountable and stop making excuses for them.